Good day, everybody. Tech Talk with Tim. I'm excited because today we're getting back into some tech talks. Joining me today is one of our senior engineers at Duralloy, Don Voke. And Don and I are going to do a little series over the next month on castings. We'll do one on centrifugal casting, but today we're going to talk about static casting. So, Don, thank you for joining me. Go ahead, take over. The floor is yours, and I'll load up PowerPoint on the screen for you, dude.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. Actually, I wanted to talk about static castings. I put together just a few pictures just to show a little bit more about what a static casting looks like and how they're made. Basically, go through the process of making a static casting. When we get an order for a static casting, what we do first is we do solidification modeling. And what the solidification modeling software helps us with is the box or the casting size, like the taper and the head size and everything like that. So it optimizes the yield of the casting. So that way we don't have to always make a sample casting. We can run things through the model, see what the head size comes out to be, see how many pieces per mold we can get, what tapers we need. And it allows us to process things through a little more quickly and not have to wait on the sample castings process through. Go ahead on to the next one then. This picture here shows what it looks like when you're making a static casting. Basically, at the bottom of that box is a wooden pattern, and the wooden pattern has the impressions that look like what the outside of the casting is. In this case, it's an elbow. So what we do is we put that pattern in a box, fill it up with sand. The molds is flipped over, and then the box is pulled out, and you're left with an impression of the casting in the sand. Go on. For a static casting, in order to get an ID, you need to have a core on the inside. When you do a centrifugal casting, the centrifugal forces, since the mold is spinning, force the metal to the outside. So you don't need a core whenever you do a centrifugally cast tube. The ID of the tube is made just by the weight of the metal and the centrifugal forces. In a static casting, you need to have a core for the metal to flow around, and that makes the ID of, in this case, a return bend or a Y casting. Go on. And this picture here shows what the mold looks like after it's poured. You can see this is a flaskless mold, meaning that there's no flask around the outside. Basically, the mold is just made by the sand. What the sand has a binder in it that makes it very hard. So the metal stays inside, and the mold doesn't fall apart when you pour it. When we do larger castings like platens and tube sheets and things like that are a lot heavier, a lot larger castings, we do use a flask on those molds just to kind of hold everything together and make sure that the metal stays inside. So, and yeah, that's what I had.
Well, thank you, Don. Again, we're going to do this over several episodes. We'll talk about castings. If you have any questions that you want us to address specifically, comment below. Like our video, share our video, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're going to be doing a lot of these types of tech talks throughout the year. And if you want to know when they're coming out, best way to get it is to subscribe. Again, Don, thank you for joining me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for having me.